Hey everyone, this is Joe Rowan, and I'm coming at you with part 5 of my ADP value series. And today we're going to be talking about picks 100 through 50 and where you can find gold in your draft. Now, let's start out with number 97, Spencer Schwellenbach. The Braves rotation is scary. Not only do you have fireballer Chris Sale, Mr. Reliable Rodolfo Lopez, or Spencer Strider when he comes back from injury. No, now you got to deal with the newcomer. He was once a shortstop at the University of Nebraska, and he turned into an ace of a pitcher last season. And going forward, I think he's going to be just that, total ace. Look, last year he had a 3.35 ERA, a 1.04 whip. He was in the 96th percentile for chase rate, 95th percentile walk rate, and 90th percentile for barrel rate. This guy's he's elite, and at only 24 years old, he's up next. So for all the people taking Tanner Bybee around earlier, not a chance for me. You know, he's got shaky underlying metrics, and he's not going to get close to the win totals Schwellenbach will with Atlanta. So invest in Spencer, number 97. That's a very, very cheap cost for as good of a pitcher as you're going to get. Now let's move on to number 90 with Anthony Santander. The Blue Jays finally got a free agent. Well, good for them. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to hit 44 bombs like he did last year, but Blue Jays fans, he's going to be very, very good. I could see somewhere more in the realm of 35 to 40. I don't know about 44. But if he does, great. You know, he's an elite source of power with respectable batting average. In his 162 career game averages, they actually come out to 34 home runs and 94 RBIs with around a 250 batting average. And I'll take that all day in the outfield for your fantasy rosters. That'll definitely play. And also, an underrated characteristic of Santander, you know, it's true, the best ability is availability sometimes. And he's actually played in at least 152 games in the last 3 seasons. So if it came down to him or Seiya Suzuki, you know, Suzuki, he has regular rest days with mediocre power. I mean, the most we've seen out of him is low 20s, the home run totals. No thanks. Give me Santander. He's going to be out there every day. And I could see, like I said, mid-30s, 35 bombs from them. Now let's move on to number 86, and that is Marcus Semien. Man, 86th overall on most draft boards. That is so cheap for a guy like this. He's never gone this late before. It's an extreme value. You know, just like Santander, Mr. Consistent, you know, Mr. Plays every day, Mr. Fundamental. Look, get this for durability. You know, in 2019, Marcus Semien played 162 games. Same goes for 2021. Same goes for 2023. And in 2024, he only missed 3 games, 159. Now, you know, the Texas lineup, they had kind of a lull last season, but I expect them to be fully back this year. Everyone's healthy, and he's going to be hitting leadoff for them. And back in 2023, this lineup was, I believe, only second to the Braves in total offensive output and total runs. So him hitting at the top of that lineup is beautiful. And as cheap as he is, he's at the top of my second base wish list. You know, he puts bat to ball and doesn't get cheated. So I'm on Semien all day. And now let's move on to number 83, 83rd overall, and that's Luis Robert Jr. And this guy is probably the opposite of Marcus Semien because, you know, you never really know what you're going to get out of him. But I do believe this year is going to be different for Luis. And it has to be because he knows that he has to create value in order to get some prospects back at the deadline for the White Sox. So he's got to create some value and he's got to play well. And I believe that will drive him because who wouldn't want to get out of the White Sox organization at this point? Look, for Robert, there's nowhere to go but up. You know, everyone is overreacting to 2024. 83rd overall, that's so cheap for a guy like this. For just look at his 2023, look what he did, look at his minor league numbers. The talent is there. We all know that. The beast just has to be awoken, and I believe the beast will be back this year. Still only 27 years old. He's got 30-30 potential, 38 homers and 20 steals back in 23. And at this price, he's not going to be your number one outfielder. But he does have very good upside, and he will be a good number 2 or 3 outfielder and to complement your first guy out there. So, the chase rate was weak, and he has to have better pitch selection, and they will be targeting him in that lineup since he is really the only guy with major upside. But the great ones get around that. They wait for their pitches. They're patient. They take their walks. And Luis, take your walks. You don't have to swing at that slider in the dirt on 0-2. Take your walks. Get back to your stolen base potential. You have elite sprint speed. Get back to that player you were in 23. I know it's in you. So, go with Robert at this cheap cost. Next, we move on to 82nd overall, Bailey Ober. Ober, he's a unique hurler. Everything's fantastic except for the ground ball rate and the velocity, which is not very normal because we love pitchers who can, get balls on the ground, and we love that 99-mile-per-hour fastball. So, yes, he gives up too many fly balls, and he gives up too many homers. I mean, he gave up 27 last season. But he does have an elite changeup and throws hitters off balance with elite extension. He's 6'9". He's giant. They call him the Nightmare. The one reason why I like Ober, especially at this cost, I know what I'm getting from him. You might have to sacrifice some long balls for weak contact and whiffs, and I'll take that all day long. So for the people taking, Aaron Nola or Luis Castillo, who are the sexier options, I'd rather have Ober. He's pretty consistent, and again, he's the boring option, but you know what you're getting from him. And lastly, let's move on to 80th overall on the draft board, and that comes in the form of Cal Raleigh. He is my favorite catcher to target this season. And you want to know why? All right. So, yeah, his averages are typically pretty low, 220, 230. But he's got the most home runs amongst all catchers in the last 3 seasons combined. And where a guy like Adley Rutschman, he's patient, he has good pitch selection, OBP is a lot better than Raleigh. Sure, in OBP leagues, you could go with Rutschman, but not in any other league. No. For Roto and category leagues, you definitely want to go with Raleigh, and especially, man, he's been taken 3 rounds later than Adley. So this is the reason why he's better than Adley. He goes for most pitches, and he's swinging at a lot of pitches, and even though that might result in high strikeout rates, still means he's going to run into a lot of homers, which he has. So that's definitely the reason why you want Raleigh. You don't want the passive OBP guy like Adley. You actually want more, chances, a guy that takes more chances and allows him to run into power. So go with Raleigh 3 rounds later than Adley. That's such a discount. So with that, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to the Just Fantasy Baseball channel, and make sure to follow me along on Twitter. I'm at JRose34. Looking forward to being with you guys all draft season long.